Good morning, everyone. It's Friday. It's a bit windy this morning, so I'm really sorry if you can't hear me very well. I've done my best to plug in an external mic and put on like a wind defender. It just keeps getting windier. This might not work at all. So if it doesn't, I'm sorry. I'll try again later. But I'm Matthew Maud from Maud Design, and this is my series on remote working. Today I want to talk about remembering your neighbour. Yesterday evening I went out for a walk, and I'd kind of forgotten that it was Thursday because, let's face it, there's no real difference between a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Friday at the minute. And I'd also lost track of time slightly, and it just so happened that I was out at 8 p.m. walking down some of the streets in our suburb, I guess you could call it, in our village, and of course it was a time where the UK recognises the great work of the NHS, and so people flooded out of their homes, onto their driveways, onto the street, with saucepans, with drums, with tambourines, with horns, with all sorts of different things to make a noise to celebrate the NHS. And it was really quite a staggering sight as I walked along, and saw all these different people only interacting kind of from their front doors. People of all ages and generations coming out, kind of waving to one another and greeting them. And then, of course, it came for them to go back inside, and they kind of offered a polite greeting, perhaps from over the street, to one another, and then they went back into their homes. And it kind of reminded me that what a privilege it is to be in a nation with a great healthcare like the NHS. I know that it might be underfunded and overstretched at times, and perhaps it doesn't necessarily get the full support that it should. But let's remember that at this time we celebrated in the NHS, and let's also remember that everyone is affected in some way or another by this situation for our nation. All of our experiences will be slightly different. There'll be some people in a worse situation than you. There'll be other people in a better situation for you. I'm so grateful personally that we've got a garden. I'm waffling. I've lost track of where I'm going. But it reminded me of the shared experience we have with our neighbours. Even if we only see them once a week on a Thursday when we clap for the NHS, we have neighbours around us that also too are in their homes. At the very least, we share the fact that we live on the same street and that we're humans. We might be different generations, we might be different types of people, we might be large families, small families, or single people. We may well be widows, retirees, all sorts of people may live in our street, but we share the connection that we are neighbours. And so I just wanted to encourage you at this point in time that yeah, it's difficult, it's challenging, but you are shared by other people around you going through the same thing of staying at home. Some of whom may well be suffering with loss of friends and family, loss of income, loss of whatever it might be. And there will be a day when this is all over, and probably people will start trying to blame others, and people will rush back to their busy lives. And I want to encourage you, remember your neighbours. They went through this with you, even if over a fence. Remember your neighbours, because they are there living beside you at all times. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. I'm Matthew Maud from Maud Design. Enjoy your weekend, and remember your neighbours. Bye bye.